What cheese do you use to hide a small horse?
I don't know.
Mascarpone. Don't worry about it. Yeah, let it sink in. This is just the initial laughter. You'll be laughing for days.
That's amazing. So tell me, Michael. Does anyone call you Michael ever? Just your mum?
My mum does, yeah, and some mates that I've had since I was little.
Michael, cooler. Were you a musical child, or did that develop later?
Yeah, I was. I played the recorder.
What?
Yeah, really, like it's a sexy instrument. When I was tiny, and then I started playing guitar when I was like classical guitar when I was about 10 or 11.
Not many 10-year-olds play classical guitar. How did that happen?
No, right. I don't know. I remember getting a guitar for Christmas, and it was a nylon string. It wasn't like a rock pop guitar. So I don't know. I think my folks were pretty up for me just giving music a go in a kind of solid way. So yeah, I did classical for years, and then by the time I realised I couldn't be bothered, I'd already got to that stage where, you know, you're fairly advanced and stuff. So I got up to like grade 7, I think.
That's impressive. Are your parents musical?
My dad sings a bit, yeah.
Not as well as you, though.
Well, you know.
Are you the best singer in your family, Mike?
I couldn't say that. I could probably. Yeah.
That's okay. When did you decide that you wanted to actually be a musician?
I don't know really. I guess during my teens when I realised that I just didn't work at school very hard, and it was the only thing I sort of really enjoyed and felt like I was sort of good at, you know.
Yep.
Not to sound like, but yeah, it was kind of an obvious thing. I don't remember like a time when it suddenly hit me, but it's always been there. Just.
Did it help you get chicks in high school?
Not so much really. I didn't play. It was mainly my charisma and charm.
And cheese jokes?
Cheese jokes came a lot later. Like if I'd had the cheese jokes at high school, I would have cleaned up.
How many girls have you pulled from the cheese joke?
I don't think any directly from the cheese joke. Like I don't think you can roll like that really.
You don't have enough faith in the cheese joke, brother. Pretty good joke.
Are you quite attracted to me?
Absolutely.
It's all good.
I'm really nervous now. So, when was your first performance as such, as a musician, in front of people that weren't your family?
I remember a gig in Brighton when I was, I guess, 16. And yeah, just the most terrifying, awkward experience. Yeah. Couldn't talk, just played songs and stared at people, and then left. Yeah, it was horrible for everyone. But, yeah.
Do you really? How many gigs do you do a year?
I do loads of busking, so I mean, including that. Yeah, probably 200, I guess. Yeah.
What's the #1 tip for successful busking? If there's one thing that you need to remember, if I'm going to go out and busk tomorrow, what do I need to know?
Like, don't hit kids. Just don't do that.
That hasn't worked out too well for you in the past?
No, it hasn't, and I've really learned a valuable lesson actually. Busking aside, like, I mean, they're annoying, just don't hit them because I've never hit a child.
This project, this album, you've got like everyone who's whatever in the Australian music industry. How did you do that? Are you just super nice and no one can say no? Or is it just, what is it? What's the trick?
It was a weird one because I did it, I made it a few years ago, so it was pretty, I think it was my second trip to Australia, first big one. And I knew Josh Pike and I knew Lior from gigging with him before and just through mutual friends. I started busking and gigging and hanging out with people and writing them songs and just meeting people. And thought it would be cool just to record a track, stick it up on YouTube, maybe every couple of weeks, just to keep things ticking over on the YouTube side of things. So we started recording demos, and I recorded one with Josh and Lee, and they just sounded really good. And suddenly this idea was born that I'd get as many as possible and just see where we're at. So I travelled around the country and met all sorts of different people and did a load of different things. And it's gone down really well. Like, I was a bit worried that people were going to be like, who's this douchebag coming in from the UK? And that people would look at it cynically, like maybe it's some kind of, you know, PR stunt, record label thing. The thing is, like, I had no money and it was all off my own back. I have no label. So it really is a pretty organic record.
Would you agree that, like, collaborations at the moment are massive and that's worked kind of well for you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you look in the pop world and, like, there's not a week that goes by without Lady Gaga collaborating with Justin Timberlake or whoever. And I think in that sense it's possibly a little contrived because it's like, these guys sell record, these guys sell record. Fine. I think in its pure form it's a brilliant idea because you come up with something neither of you would have done.
Yeah.
You know, if you're writing with them or even just recording one of your own songs with other people, you come up, like, they bring a whole new set of ideas. So that's really exciting, and I think plus if you look back at the 60s and 70s, everyone was collaborating.
Yeah.
You know, like James Taylor, Carole King, that whole scene. And it didn't used to be a big deal. And nowadays, I think music is so sort of, musicians become so insular and so competitive with each other and looking over each other's shoulders. And really, it should just be like any other job. You should support each other. You're going through a similar thing. You should hang out, have fun, and I've just been on the road with Josh Pike over in the UK, and it's been brilliant, you know, actually kind of just really letting your guard down and being open and honest about your fears and your excitement and your just your emotions about what's going on in each other's careers, you know. So I think that's really important as a musician. Yeah.
If you could choose to collaborate with anyone, dead or alive,
would they actually be dead? Like, would I just be there with the corpse?
Yes, but they would know. No. They would be alive again. You can bring them to life for one performance only.
But then they'd be like, oh, keep me alive for another 24 hours.
No,
I want to say hello to someone.
That's part of the plan, so they won't do that.
Alright. I think maybe someone like Otis Redding. No, because his voice would be so much better than mine.
Yeah,
and I do a
that's
verse.
The thing. They can't be too good because then you look crap.
Yeah, maybe someone like...
Now, whoever you say now is someone that you don't think has a very good voice. It's not good. It's not as good as Otis.
That's true. Okay. Oh, wow, this has got more complicated than it should have been.
You started complicating with all your
I
questions about are they going to want to stay. Are you a neurotic person?
Fairly.
That's alright.
Fairly. I'd love to collaborate with the band. The band is in The Last Waltz. The Last Waltz is a, oh man, like aside from all of this.
Yeah.
It's a Scorsese documentary.
Yeah.
And basically the band were like Bob Dylan's backing band, and they played with basically everyone in the 60s and 70s. And were a band on their own right as well. But their last gig was televised and documented by Scorsese. And Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, basically everyone that's ever been brilliant is there. And those guys are just the most amazing musicians, and I guess that would be a lot of fun.
It's a great answer. It's way better than like Elvis, which is what most people say.
Yeah, he actually wanted to do something, and I was like, you know what, just don't think it's...
I read that, but I don't know if it's true or not, because you're busy.
Yeah, I'm busy, he's dead, so it's like, you know, it's...
Minor complications.
Tricky.
Oh no, I've really made it when ...
I've really made it when I become a complete arsehole.
Don't do that.
Like a horrible arsehole. Like they're just
Like with like unrealistic rider.
Yeah, and just shouting at people all the time. Like, saying things like, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" Stuff like that.
So if I meet you in a couple of years and you're like, I don't know, you get in my face.
Yeah, and you'll be like, "We ate eggs and soldiers, cheese jokes." And I'll be like,
"Follow me!
Get out of my flipping face," stuff like that.
And then I'll embark on my new career goal, which is taking you down.
Right.
Start a website.
Yeah.
Passengerisanasshole.com.
Yeah.
Don't buy his music.
That actually already exists. But
no, it doesn't.
You'll have to do like .org or something like that.
Yeah, or .au. But I want this thing to go international, so it can't be .au. All right. Okay. Well, I hope you do make it big. So I hope you do turn into an asshole one day. No worries.
Oh, I saw diverse and saw